So the first thing we want to do before we even start running Chungus% is we want to go to our documents folder. We want to go to Harry Potter 2. We want to locate user.ini. Now, if you don't have this file, make sure to simply launch the game, open, basically start a new game, exit the game, and then these files should all create themselves. Now, the first thing we need to do is open user.ini. We're going to scroll down to the numbered keys, and we need to bind several commands. We need to bind savegame and loadgame, and then a number with a space in between that will allow us to have save states in order to practice segments a little bit better. We need to have set Harry fatness at least 255, because that is, or 250 rather, because that is how Chungus will work. We need to have debug mode true and debug mode false. Now, all of these commands will be in the description below for you guys to find. I personally have my Chungus command on 8, 6 and 7 I use for save states, and 9 and 0 I use for debug mode. The reason for that is because during a run I can't accidentally, press these buttons to invalidate my run. Fair reminder, debug mode is not allowed during the run, neither are save states and load states. You are only allowed to use the Chungus command once before skipping the cutscene, the first cutscene. You can do that with either debug mode or a hotkey. So yeah, let's get to the run. The second thing you need to do that I forgot is you need to find your copy of Harry Potter 2, a shortcut on the desktop. You want to click Properties, and you want to have a shortcut key. I personally use F1 because it's the closest to escape. And you want to put in space -windowed after the path of the game. That way the game will run in in windowed mode, and we can reload the game with a shortcut key rather easily. So yeah, make sure you have those two configured like that. Now let's get right into the game. This is HP2. Let me just have my splits. This is a software on my left called LiveSplit. I will provide a video in the description for it. It's a really useful program used for pretty much all speedruns, or like most speedruns everywhere. Basically, we're going to be timing the game with it, and there's a loadless timer provided within the program itself for the game, which is quite useful. But yes, so the first thing we have to do when we launch the game is we have to pause the game, click on the brightness menu, make sure you are running on low graphics because it will make boosting easier, and make sure, excuse me, let me just do that real quick. I was doing a thing. Make sure you have 2 inputs for forward, backwards, right, and left. I personally have Shift and W for double forward, S and X for double back, D and F for double right, and A and Q for double left. These are keys that I can quickly press together without struggling at all. What this does is Harry will reach full acceleration instantly when you press both keys instead of one, where he'll reach it a little bit slower. So it's always faster to run with double inputs. Now the next thing you want to do, if auto center camera is on, you need to turn it off because it will make your life a heck of a lot harder than it needs to be. So make sure auto center camera is off. And the final thing, go to your brightness menu and click on your brightness slider once. More on that later. Press escape and position your mouse right here on the mouse icon. Again, more of that later. Now, upon unpausing the game, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to hit our Chungus hotkey to become fat, and we can check if it worked when the cutscene gets to Harry, right here. Alternatively, if, there we go, Harry is fat. Alternatively, we can turn debug mode on, type in set Harry fatness 255, and then we can turn debug mode off. But I don't recommend this method because it sometimes leaves your console in like this, and it's better to use a hotkey in my opinion. Anyway, upon skipping the first cutscene, the timer should start on the first loading screen. So if you're splitting manually, start it yourself on the first load. If you're using the auto splitter, that's fine, it should start on its own. If it doesn't start, simply restart the game and try again, and it should start. I'll provide splits for this category in the description. Anyway, upon skipping the first cutscene, you want to be holding double left and single back. So there we go. That's what I'm holding, double left and single back. And we want to jump like that from the log. So again, you're gonna spawn somewhat like this. We're gonna hold double left single back and jump over this log. Now, upon getting into the game, several things to point out movement-wise. Obviously, double inputs are faster. This is instant acceleration, and this is a little bit slower acceleration. It's very noticeable in my opinion, maybe a little vague for you guys right now, but you do get a feel for it. Another thing, casting while in the air is a speedrunning technique known as spell tech. So spam clicking, not holding the mouse, but spam clicking. It actually increases the length of your jump, so all movement speed you have while moving, you preserve by spam clicking in the air, so it's a little bit faster to spam click while in the air. Not always, there are exceptions, and we will talk about that when we get there, but most of the time, to make jumps easier, we're going to be spam clicking in the air at all times. I personally have 2 jump keys bound, one for right click and one for spacebar, as you can see, since I use both of them on different occasions because I'm weird like that. Anyway, another thing, we want to be holding cutscene skip the entire time. Now I have mine bound to E, some people have it bound to space. Just make sure it's a button you can hold throughout the entire run with double forward comfortably. For example, I can hold Shift W and E pretty much the entire run without a problem. So that's what I use. Anyway. So the first thing we're gonna do after jumping over the log is we're gonna head to this little corner right there. We're gonna hold double forward, and we're gonna jump and cast here to get through the edge. Enter from the left side of this door. Here we have several things we can do. We can either, immediately after the cutscene skip, we turn and we get 2 small ledge grabs, and we jump. And we enter from the left side of the door, or we can get what's known as a brightness boost. Remember how earlier we clicked on the brightness slider? Well, if we click on the brightness menu again, we can actually control it with the left and right arrow key. And I strongly recommend brightness boosting, which is a technique that I'm about to show, to be done with the arrow keys with the right hand, because that way it's a lot quicker. Even though the boosts themselves are weaker, it's a lot faster to boost with arrow keys as opposed to moving your mouse all the way here and clicking. So that's how I recommend doing it. If you struggle with that, you can boost with mouse. It's completely fine. It's really up to you. I do recommend learning it from early on though, because it will make so many things easier. So yeah, what we're gonna do is, if we're gonna boost with mouse, we're gonna walk into this, get a medium ledge grab, reload, that's my F1 key that I bound, and we're gonna click 3 times. Like that. And that's gonna do the gargoyle. We're gonna do it with arrow keys. We're gonna hit the arrow keys a couple of times, and then we're here. Now the fastest method is to get a small ledge grab and boost late. And it's going to look like this. Excuse me. Yeah, you want to hit the gargoyle as well. Come on. Okay, hold on. I am very good at this game, as you can tell. There we go. So yeah, that's how it's gonna look like. But yeah, what this saves is basically either an extra small ledge grab or a medium ledge grab. Anyway, continuing forward, reminder, you're not allowed to cast, by the way. We're gonna walk from the left side of this cutscene. Follow my movement, by the way. So here, we can do 2 things. We can either grab here and then boost 3 times, 4 times rather. And then we're here. You can also land up here with 3 clicks. It can catch a little bit off guard though. And you can also do every boost with arrow keys, which is a little bit faster. So like that. Alternatively, we can jump on this little black dot. You can kind of see it there in the textures. We're gonna jump, we're gonna turn, and we're gonna grab it. Like this. And then here, the boost is 3 clicks with the mouse for a perfect no damage boost. So reload, click 3 times. Like this. Or alternatively, you can do several boosts with the arrow keys. Like that. And here we're gonna cut this corner. And we're gonna walk to the end of the level. Not everything will be this in-depth, by the way. So remember to hold cutscene skip. Yeah, you want to jump here at the end, but be careful to not get stuck like I did. In fact, let me show you how this jump should look like. I'll jump like this, then enter the trigger to end the level. Now, I am going to make the save state here. There's a cutscene here. After the cutscene, we'll be holding double forward and single left. Like this. And this will get our face planted at this wall. From here, we're gonna try to get a small ledge grab on this little ledge. You can't get it by walking into it, but you can get it by either jumping into it or falling into it, which I'm really bad at, like that. I have a setup for jumping into it that I will show you now, and a really easy beginner method to do this boost, because this is usually one of the harder tricks in the category for a lot of people. So, do you see this line that is on the corner of the building? What we're gonna do is we're gonna give ourselves a little bit of a run up. We're gonna hold double forward and we're gonna jump as soon as we hit this line. So hit jump as soon as Chungus walks past that line. So like this. And yeah, practice the ledge grab for a while. If you get this, that's okay. Put a save state down, practice it for a couple of times. Yeah, like that. Obviously it's not gonna work always, but yeah. The hard part is we're gonna wanna pause as quickly as possible, as early in the animation as humanly possible, so that actually might be a little bit late. Let me see if I can get it up. Yeah, like that. So once you get, pause before he even makes the ledge grab sound that he makes, you know, the little grunt. So from here, what I recommend doing for a beginner is setting your slider all the way to the left, reloading, and then spam clicking the other side like this. After that, you should land here. If you're in the air, unpause quickly and hold double right. If you do it properly, you either clip perfectly or land here. Now showing it one more time, jumping in, pausing as early as possible, setting slider like this, and spam clicking. Now from here, we're gonna want to make this jump, and remember what I said about casting in the air, like spam clicking. It extends our jumps because we preserve all movement speed that we have had up until this point. So we're gonna use it here. We're gonna jump from this little corner. I can barely show it. Yeah, from this little corner right here. Try to jump as late as possible and holding double forward, spam click in the air. I am very good at this game. It's gonna look like this. And from here, the faster line, which is a few frames faster, is to drop down here, on the stairs, and then make sure you approach from the right side of the door, because you can actually miss the trigger if you approach from this direction. If this happens, if the door here is closed, simply back up to find the trigger to open the door. An alternative line you can take from here, from the right side, is once you're here, you can start going this way and head for over here. You can kind of see the texture of this tree glitting out. Just aim for the right side of it. Hold double forward, drop on top of the rock, take the stairs, and yeah. Now this trick can be done on the other side, but it's a lot harder and I don't recommend it for beginners. Basically how it's gonna look like is you're gonna hold double back after the cutscene, you're gonna turn your mouse quickly, and you'll be here. Now from here, I recommend having a upwards angle, because this tree can get in your way, so that you can see Harry. And after getting the jump, pretty much the setup is the same, except we're gonna be unpausing with F4 and holding left immediately. So what unpausing with F4 means is we're basically gonna unpause immediately. Unlike needing double escape, we're gonna save an input and unpause immediately. That will give us enough time to hold left so that we can land on this tower. And this process will look like this. You need to boost a lot. Yeah, like that. Now from here, you can either jump across or drop. Just be careful not to fall in this, there's a little hole here you can fall in, darkness. And, nice. I am very good at this. Oh, nice. I should turn off debug mode, really. I don't know why I turned it on. There we go. Getting a little unlucky here. Not getting enough inputs in. That's why I said this trick is a lot harder and should be avoided by all beginners. There we go. So from here, we're gonna drop down here. We're gonna start going this way. Like that. We're gonna drop down here to avoid damage, and we're gonna walk a little bit from the right side like this to open the door and enter the forest. Now, forest. This level. Several things you can do here. What I recommend going for is jumping immediately. Jump again, and jump now. Or alternatively, you can go this way and do that. The problem is you don't have the Lumos right now, and we'll get to why that's important in a little bit. Just keep in mind that that's a lot harder and more risky to go for. Now for this plant, two things you can do for this plant. Let me actually go grab the Lumos because I'll need it for the next room. Okay, so for this plant, two things you can do. One thing is hugging the right wall, and that way you're completely safe. And then jumping down here and continuing. Or the... Nice, by the way. I did the save state. Or the faster strat is you're gonna want to jump right before this bush, holding double forward and spell tacking, and then you wanna do two jumps across. So that looks like this: jump before the bush, jump here, and jump here. Once again, we're gonna jump a little bit before we hit this bush. So like that, and like that. So I practiced this. It's a little bit hard to get used to, but it is a lot faster than hugging the right wall. Here, there's two things that I'm gonna show here. One is the fast strat, which is bridge skip. It's very difficult to do because the vines collapse. What this does is it skips this entire part because the bridge falls down, and you don't have to go across. But as soon as you jump on the vines, you're gonna have very little time to react and jump. What I recommend is jumping from this plank right here, holding double forward, and then when you reach the vines, hold double forward for a little bit, then switch to right and jump holding right, and you should be on the other side. You don't need double inputs here. As you can see, I just did it with single right, but it does make the jump a little bit easier. There we go. Now, a thing to mention, if you fail it and didn't grab the Lumos, these three platforms right here will not exist, so you will essentially be soft locked here. Which will mean that you either need to reset your speedrun or reload your game. But yes, let's say you fail it in an actual run. What I recommend going for is a slide into a ledge grab here. That will look something like this. Some people like going for it immediately. It's barely slower than missing the bridge skip. So that's very beginner friendly. It's basically jumping and spell tacking from the slope like this. You don't always reach it, but you can try it again pretty quickly. Alternatively, what you can do is you can grab the second one and you can boost a couple of times, landing here. Now from here, we're gonna jump across. If you do things correctly, there should be pixies here. Just jump somewhere here to kill them. We're gonna jump here, we're gonna jump here, we're gonna steer ourselves holding double forward, single left here. Here we can just walk across, here we can jump, hug this wall, grab and boost a couple of times. Cutscene skip. We're gonna jump here. Now two things you can do. You can either go for the Spongify immediately and then just kind of jump across and boost from here. If you get a lead grab. If you don't get a lead grab, then not worth boosting. Let me just quickly show it with a lead grab. Yeah, like that. Or you can jump kind of like here on the right side of the Spongify, kind of where the space between the curl is. And you want to steer yourself into a medium ledge grab here. That's a long one. If you get a long one, it's not worth boosting, but there you go. Practice getting a ledge grab here for a while, it can be quite weird. And from here, we're gonna boost like crazy. But we want to stop at a certain point, because if we keep boosting, we're gonna end up on the right side. It's actually better if you start boosting before you even grab here, because otherwise it can send you in this direction, which is a lot slower. But if you do this boost perfectly, you can basically land in this safe book. You're gonna jump here. If you hug this wall, you can take out these spiders like that. Jump here. You can kill these guys if you want to. I like to. Now, two things you can go for in this room. You can go for a long ledge grab boost here. Just click 3 times with the mouse or a couple of times with the arrow keys. And you should land here. Basically going across. Or a little bit faster that I recommend is you want to grab as far to the right as possible on this ledge with a straight angle. So you don't want to grab it like this, for example, because it will not work. You want to grab it like this, and you want to get a medium ledge grab. And you want to start boosting. Okay, that's not a straight angle. You get a straight angle. Okay. When Harry's right leg is on the slope like that, that's when you pause. You're going to reload, and you're going to click 4 times with the mouse. That's gonna get you, most of the time, on top of this invisible collision, which will skip the mushroom area entirely. If you do 3 clicks with the mouse, you land here, and from here just hold forward. Try not to pick up any mushrooms. Based on the location of the first mushroom, you did this where the first mushroom lands, you decide on whether you're going from the right side or from the left side. But yeah, done quickly with arrow keys, this boost will look like this. So jump in the air, escape, reload, and wait for Harry's leg to be up, and then start boosting. So that's gonna look like this. We're gonna drop here, land it on the left, so we go to the right, and jump here. Jump on this slope. Be careful not to cast on this tree, because you can actually cast on it while it's still falling. Jump here. And don't walk off, because the tree will go back up. You want to jump off, holding forward. Emphasis on jump. You actually want to jump forward. Here, you can destroy the web. You can actually destroy it really early. Let me show. Like that, and enter the trigger. After skipping this cutscene, Aragog is, by the way, where I'll probably go a little bit more in depth on the tutorial here, but Aragog is one of the harder parts of the run. And the first thing you want to do after skipping the cutscene is holding single left and single back. So we're gonna do that. That will destroy the web behind us. Single left and single back. Jump here. Jump here. Ignore the spiders. Try to cut corners when possible. Make sure you spam cast every time, because it will preserve the movement speed. And go towards the final web, skip cutscene, hold double right. Position yourself next to these mushrooms right here on the left. Now, the strat I'm about to show is the current fastest method of fighting Aragog, and then I'll show an easier method, and then I'll show an even easier method. So first of all, let me open the volume mixer and turn the game down by quite a bit, because this will be loud and I can't explain if it's loud. But yes, basically what's gonna happen is Aragog is going to do a web attack. He's gonna shoot webs at you, and there's 3 different attacks. 2 of them are fast and 1 of them is very slow. It loses around 2.5 seconds to the fast ones. Obviously we want the good attack, but that's completely RNG as far as we know. There's no way of influencing it. But yes, that's besides the point. After he does the web attack, he's going to mock you, showing his weak spot, and then he's going to charge at you. Now during that charge, we're going to wait for him to be completely off of his web, and then we're gonna start walking to the left. Just walking to the left. After that, when he shows his weak spot, we're gonna jump. And we're gonna try to time our jumps perfectly to hit his weak spot as often as possible. And after hitting his weak spot for the first time, we're gonna jump through him. After jumping through him, the player collider basically will enter Aragog's collider, turning the camera around in a 360 and resetting Aragog's attack pattern. Now what this does is it skips the web attacks indefinitely, and it allows us to hit his weak spot much quicker than we would normally be able to. Now I know this may sound very confusing, but in practice it's going to look like this. He's going to shoot webs. This is the bad attack. That doesn't matter. He's going to show his weak spot and he's going to charge at us. We're going to start walking to the left now. And now, he's going to show his weak spot and I'm going to jump, and then I'm going to jump through him. Bam, bam. After that, I do a slight jump backwards, and we want to stay in front of his face. Basically, the entire time we want to be in front of Aragog. We don't want to be underneath him, because if we go underneath him, we will either reset his animation again, so we will skip a weak spot crit, or he will go back to the web completely, which is really, really bad, and we don't want to do that. We also don't want to stay too far away from him, because then he can hit us with one of his attacks, but if we stay right in front of his face, he can't damage us at all. So this is gonna look like this. Hit the weak spot. Every time we hit the weak spot, we're gonna jump through Aragog. So yes, let me actually show what the fastest way of doing it is. And good job me, I forgot to make a save state. I'll be right back. So, this is how Aragog should look like optimally. He's gonna charge me. I'm going this way. I jump through him. I stay in front of his face. I jump through him. Here I'm gonna stop jumping and I'm gonna time this jump. Here I'm gonna spam jump again. And here I'm gonna spam jump until the end. So, I could go over why that's the fastest method, but it's basically timing the jumps to be as optimal as possible. We go this way, we're gonna jump through him. 4, 5. We're gonna do a 6 jump here. Here we're gonna keep spam jumping. But yes, to go a little bit more in depth, I will show an easier version. So we're gonna go this way again. We're gonna jump. And we're just gonna spam jump. Just make sure every time you hit his weak spot, you go forward. Like this. Go backwards a little. Go forward. Now make sure you actually go forward after hitting his weak spot, because if you don't, he will reset his position. So when you get like the strat off like this, if I go too much inside of him, this will happen. The camera will start spinning. I can actually carry him around with me. His AI is completely broken right now. So we want to stand in front of his face like that. And when we hit his weak spot, we want to jump through him like this. And yeah, that's pretty much Aragog. He's very difficult to get used to. Once you have him down, you can't really mess him up. Show it one more time. So again, we want to be all the way back next to these mushrooms. We want to jump here, jump through him, jump back. When we hit the weak spot, we go forward. And we basically don't move unless we have to. Because if we move too far back, let me actually show you what happens if we move too far back. He can actually damage us by quite a bit, as you saw there. And if we're too close to him, we're gonna skip cycles like that. And eventually, if we keep doing this, he's gonna go back to the web. So you want to stay in front of his face to avoid this. Again, we go this way, we jump through him, hit the weak spot, go forward, stay in front of his face. Always reposition yourself so you're not too far inside him. Like that. Now, several optimizations to go over. Aragog has two phases. In the first phase, he only does the charge attack. And in the second phase, let me see if I can show it. He's gonna start charging and then using both of his legs, or like both of his sets of legs to attack the ground with. So what we're gonna do is, as soon as he starts going back from his charge from the first phase, that's when you jump. So like when he starts going backwards from this animation, that's when you want to jump. So what do I mean? He's going back, I jump. If you miss him like this, just go all the way back and try again. He's gonna charge at you again. And jump now. Going backwards. So yeah, basically hit him when going backwards, like that. For the second phase, I recommend jumping as soon as the first set of legs attacks. So what do I mean by that? Let me get to the second phase. He's going backwards, I jump. He's going backwards, I jump. He's going backwards, I jump. Okay, for the second phase, first set of legs attacks, that's when I jump. First set of legs attacks, that's when I jump. First set of legs attack, that's when I jump. That way, you can time the jumps correctly and kill him as quickly as possible. Now the fastest strat is to do, you can do exactly 8 jumps before he enters into phase 2. And phase 2 is a little bit slower because the attack with the legs is loses actually about a second to the charge attack, because it's a charge and an attack with the legs. So the fastest strat entails actually doing 8 jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we're gonna stop. 6, 7, 8. And here we're gonna start spam jumping. And I got a little bunny hop there, but normally that's enough to kill him perfectly. If you do that correctly, you should be out of Aragog by 1 minute and 2 seconds on average every single time, with 1 minute flat being really, really good. The current community sum of best for Aragog is 1 minute flat. So yeah, practice Aragog. It's really, really important boss fight for the category. And yeah, moving forward, we're gonna skip this cutscene. If you have any questions on Aragog, by the way, leave them in the comments. I'm down to sit on a Discord call and explain it. Here you can either turn and enter this cutscene, or you can hold double right like that. Hold left and back here and spam jump. And you can also do it by holding simply left and spamming jump. You want to jump as soon as you have vision. If you're lucky, you won't get stuck on the railing, and you can even get a frame perfect bunny hop jump and land on the Spongify. And we're gonna be here. From here, we're gonna follow this line of movement. Basically, hug the left wall. Yeah, there's not much else to it. Here we're gonna turn. We're gonna enter from the left. If you're missing health, what you can do is hit this cauldron, enter the cutscene, and then go back to see if the cauldron produced a frog or not. Based on your health missing, the cauldrons have a percentage-based chance to drop a frog. So you can do this while the chamber is opening. So yeah, basically hit the cauldron, check. If there's a frog, grab it. If no, then come here and do this. If you don't want to go for a frog, we're gonna go on the right side of this sink. We're gonna jump and hold left and forward. We're gonna jump as early as possible, like that. Here we're gonna jump from this corner across. We're gonna jump here. We're gonna drop into the Spongify like that. We're gonna jump here and hold double forward. If you hold double forward, you actually can't miss this cycle. Just jump there, turn, and hold double forward, and you can never miss this cycle, ever. So yeah, there's also a safe book there if you're not confident. There's a frog here if you need it. Now there's 3 methods to do this room. I'm gonna show the easiest one first. We're gonna jump here, we're gonna jump here, we're gonna run across, and we're gonna jump into a medium ledge grab here, and we're gonna boost across like this. Then we'll continue this way. That's known as the any percent boost. The second boost is known as the Addy jump, named after Critical, a runner of the HP games, one of the first Chungus runners. We're gonna jump here again, preferably without a ledge grab. We're gonna jump here, and we're gonna look towards the wall. Now the rock is gonna drop, and we're gonna jump to the rock, and from the rock we're gonna jump across holding forward and left, like this. So yeah, that's a pretty cool strat. Let me actually show it again. And if you're an absolute legend, you can get through like that without getting stuck anywhere. The fastest strat, you can pause and reload during this unskippable cutscene. And set your slider all the way to one side, left to right on your preference. And we want to get a small ledge grab there, and we want to boost across, but we want to start boosting before we even get the ledge grab. Now this is a very hard strat, much like the left side in the beginning. I don't recommend it for beginners. It's very difficult. But yeah, what I do is from this line, I simply jump across into a small ledge grab, I reload, and I click around 5 times, then I unpause with F4 and hold left and sometimes back. Up. Yo, I failed it. Get a medium ledge grab. It's not gonna work. It only works with small. Up. Yo, I failed it again. I just want to show it. There we go, this should work. There we go, like that. It's really hard to unpause in time because the short ledge grab animation is very long, but yeah, I don't recommend going for this. Anyway, we're gonna jump here, we're gonna jump here, we're gonna drop here, we're gonna turn. Now here, what we can do if we just did what's known as the IO boost is we can jump here, we can reload, and we can reset our cursor to the brightness slider so we have early access to it. Here we want to get a medium ledge grab. Here we can do that by either walking to it, like this, and boosting, or it's actually faster to jump into it, like that. That's a little bit quicker. It's really up to you. I recommend the walking into it strat. This is one of the harder things to get used to. If you're struggling with this room, kill the pixies first. And then walk across. Like that. It is worth mentioning that this boost can work with a long ledge grab. Technically both of them can. It's just a lot harder. So there's 2 ways this can work with a long ledge grab. Let me just get one. There we go. So the first way is to spam as early as possible, then unpause quickly and hold right. But yeah, that's really hard, as you can tell. The easier method to get it with a long, let me just get a long, is to delay until pretty much the end of the animation and then boost and then hold right, like that. If you get a long one though, I recommend not risking it, especially at first, and then retrying until you get a medium. It will not work with a small though, ever. From here we want to jump here. Be careful not to cast at this. You can cast at it even if you've activated it. You want to drop down here, and once again you want to get a medium ledge grab here and boost across. Now for this boost, I can actually recommend a setup that works 100% at the time. Standing from kind of here, aim for this line. Look where I am right now. I'm kind of close to the entrance, facing this part. Aim for this line. Try to get a medium ledge grab there. Pause immediately, set your slider all the way to the left, and simply click it across with the mouse. This setup is 100% consistent, and yeah. Now this boost can also work with a long ledge grab, but it's also much harder. So again, I recommend going for a medium until it works. To show how it works with a long, what you're gonna need to do is get a long, pause immediately, reload, delay a little, and then auto boost. Now what the hell is an auto boost? An auto boost, okay, let me just get the long ledge grab, is holding your slider with the mouse. You can drag it, and then you can hold an arrow key. I'm holding the left arrow key right now, and I'm slowly dragging my mouse across like this. Now this registers a crap ton of inputs. So after you reload, quickly click on the slider and hold it with the mouse. Hold the left arrow key and slowly drag your mouse across. So like that. And if you do it properly, it's really hard, but you can make it across. I once again recommend going for it only if you get a medium though. Other than that, simply retry until you get one. But yeah, let's see if we can get one with the long here. Yeah, it's a lot harder, as you can see, but it is possible, technically. Ignore the menu glitch. Anyway, here we're gonna jump and fall down. Or we can tap back and hold double forward from the wall walk. Let me actually show that, since it's kind of important. Up, down. Like this. And we're gonna hug the left side of the wall. And here we're gonna go for the middle. Now here, easier method, grab all the way in the corner here. And simply walk into it. Don't jump, just walk into it, into a long ledge grab, reload, and spam. Make sure though that you grab all the way to the right, because that way it will always work. Why? Well, if you grab from the left side or from the middle like this, you can actually soft lock inside this bridge, and it's not pleasant. There I was lucky and didn't soft lock, but if I'm to spam, yeah, there we go, I'm in here, and basically the only way to get out is to reload my game. Harder method, we're gonna hold double forward and we're gonna jump from this line into a medium ledge grab, like that. From here, we're just gonna boost, and done fast it should work, look like this. A little disclaimer, you don't have to jump to kill the crabs, but I do recommend it because they can be annoying sometimes, like that. Yeah. From here, we're gonna jump, we're gonna drop here, we're gonna hold back. Or alternatively, what we can do, what I like doing in runs, still pretty fast. So I jump here, I jump again, and holding forward, I try to avoid the ledge grab like that. Here, if we land in the middle of this platform, we can break both ropes at once, so jump roughly here. Hold cutscene skip. Hold double forward here. Take the safe book, there's a frog here if you need it. It helps with the health. Now for this bridge skip, I recommend jumping into the wall, holding double forward. That way it always works for me. Here you can either wait for the bridge to go back up, like that. Let me actually do it again. Or you can go for a ledge grab, or you can go for a medium ledge grab boost. Only boost if you get a medium ledge grab though. Like this. Delay, and then boost. If you do it properly, let me actually get a good one to show off what a good one looks like. Yeah, you can basically boost all the way across and even get up to here. From here. Okay, so this next cutscene actually teleports us to the same coordinates every time, so we want to drop as early as possible, and the way we're gonna do that is we're gonna jump as soon as we cross this line here, and then we're gonna hold double back after we get past the ledge, and hold cutscene skip, like this. Here, this is a giant slope. Jumping on slopes is faster, so make sure you jump whenever you can. Kind of stay on the right side. Jump. Jump. Spam click, of course. Jump. Jump. Try to time the final one. Now here, there's potion ingredients if you need them. I highly encourage making a potion for the first few runs. And okay, so here you can either go for one final boost or you can play it safe. If you want to play it safe, simply jump kinda here, and skip the cutscene, wait for this to go back, take it, and then jump across like that. Or you can wait for the door to be down, jump up here. And you can jump into a small ledge grab and start mashing like crazy. And pause, and drop down like that. This is pretty difficult. I don't recommend going for it. It saves 3 seconds. If you do want to go for it, take the save book right before the thing. So, Snake. First of all, what I should mention, you can walk through these 3 by just holding double forward. There's ingredients here for a second potion if you need it. And this is where we make our potion. I don't recommend making more than 2 potions because it's gonna lose a lot of time and it's not worth it. Most of the time you'll be fine with 1 potion, but yeah, if you don't want to make a potion, like I said, from the first 3 you can just walk past, but you can't walk past the second 3 because you're gonna take a lot of damage, as you can see. And it's very difficult to kill the Basilisk with this health without a potion. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take 1 intentional damage and skip the other 2. So the way we're gonna do that is there's 2 methods. We can either stop in front of the first one for like half a second and then keep going. This will look like this. We walk across from these, we stop before the first one, like that, and we go. It's normally gonna hit us once, like this. Or the strat, which is a little bit faster and safer. From this line, holding double forward, we're gonna jump exactly 8 times, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's gonna damage us the exact same amount. That strat's a little bit faster, I believe. But yeah. And from here, we're gonna fight the Basilisk. It's unfortunately a pretty difficult fight to get used to, especially without a potion, so that's why I recommend making a potion when starting off. But yes, for Basilisk, what you need to know is several things. When you charge your sword all the way up, it deals more damage, and aim for the head. Always aim for the head. Fully charged strikes should take down the first phase in 5 hits most of the time, like that. But what you can do is you can pause cast. What does that mean? You saw me flashing my map there. This allows me to cast a lot quicker without having to charge all the way through. So the way that works is this cancels Harry's casting animation so that he can immediately do it again. It's really difficult to get used to in my opinion, so if you're not good at it, maybe don't go for it. But I personally don't think it's too bad in Snake, the pause casting. So what that's gonna look like is we're gonna do 6 hits with pause casting. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're gonna skip the cutscene, and I'll show a really easy method. You're gonna come here, basically jump and move around a lot. If you don't want to pause cast, attack him like this. We can only kill him in this vent, by the way. Now that's known as a 4 cycle. If you want to pause cast, you can go for a 3 cycle. And the way that's gonna look is like this. Pause cast once, pause cast again. Try to move around a lot. Go to this vent. If you're low on health, I recommend drinking your potion. And that's how a 3 cycle looks like. For a 2 cycle, you're gonna need to utilize what's known as a damage strat. Basically, every time Harry gets hit after he fires the spell, he can recast the spell again. I don't know why, that's a very weird glitch, but it's sometimes unavoidable, so it's allowed even in glitchless. So with that exploit, you can actually kill the snake in 2 cycles, and I'm gonna try to show how it works, but it's really hard. I do recommend practicing it, but for beginners, maybe go for a 3 or a 4 cycle. We're gonna start at this vent from this line. We're gonna pause cast once, and we're gonna walk to the left. Normally this secures some poison around us, which didn't happen this time. So we're gonna try again. There we go. And we're gonna take intentional damage. And as you can see, Snake is now low on health. And yeah, I am very bad at it, but basically like that you can kill the snake in 2 cycles. But yes, 2 cycle is very annoying and I don't recommend going for it. You can actually hold the spell like this. So yeah, this is what a 2 cycle looks like. It's very difficult though, as you can see, and I don't recommend going for it. If you do go for it and fail it, there's a strat known as cycle skip that I will show you. Which will allow you to get the snake back into the second vent, which again is the only vent in which the snake can die. But yeah, let's say you do go for it. And let's say you fail it. Okay, he's making it very difficult for me to fail it. Let's say you fail it. We're gonna aim at this vent, and I completely messed up. But yeah, as soon as the vent opening animation starts playing, we're gonna cast at the vent. That's gonna make the snake go back into it, and revert back to the next vent closest to you, which in our case is the vent that we want him to be in. Also, yeah, snake will always come out of the vent that is closest to you. I didn't mention that. So yeah, pause cast. Let's say we want him in this vent. He's gonna start coming out, we're gonna cast. Normally that works, I'm kinda surprised it didn't. But yeah, basically cast at him from a distance and you can skip the cycle. Let me actually see if I can show how this works properly. So yeah, vent animation, up, nice. Come on. But yeah, event animation starts playing. We shoot. He's gonna revert back in, and we're gonna go back here. There we go. And the final split. Let me just... The final split. We're gonna jump on this guy's head. Just be careful not to trade with him. And we're gonna enter the Great Hole from the left side. From this straight line, like this. That's time. As soon as the first loading screen appears on screen. Now this has been a little bit of a lengthy one. I do apologize for it. I am aware it's an under 10-minute category. It just there's no way to properly explain all of the techniques used in less amount of time. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments below. I will make sure to leave other tutorials in the description, like Flo's Basilisk tutorial, which is very similar to the way I tried to explain it now, will be there. Also, I will leave a link to the any percent tutorial, the Chungus percent world record, and you know, some installation tutorials that you might have trouble with. But yeah, again, if you guys have any questions whatsoever, feel free to ask. I'm available 24/7 pretty much. Yeah, enjoy Chungus as a category. I recommend practicing Aragog, Chamber, and the boost after Willow, the small edge grab boost, as those are normally the biggest run killers, and of course the Basilisk. But yeah, without further ado, thank you for watching and enjoy running Chungus percent. Bye bye.